Welcome to Om Times TV, a division of Om Times Media and Broadcasting. Welcome to Adventures in Consciousness, the interactive show that offers expansive conversation with pioneering new thought teachers and personal real-time guided journeys into the imaginal realm to access your soul's wisdom and discover how to live your greater story. Here is your host, human potentialist, soul mentor, and consciousness guide, Jennifer Ivanko.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Adventures in Consciousness, the Conversation. Last month, we began exploring the multidimensional levels of self. We started with a conversation on awakening to our dimensions with author of Living the 7 Blessings of Human Experience, Simran Singh. Then in our last episode, we had a couple of journeys where we experienced those multidimensional levels of self, the level of extended body and the subtle body, subtle realms. This month, we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to go explore the dimensions of dreams. And I'm excited today we have a wonderful leader guide for us into this discussion, this topic. She is the Damanhur ambassador, writer, artist, and awakened dreamer, Formica Coriandolo. Formica was born in Italy, and from a very young age, she began to have lucid dreams. And over the years, this led her to become passionate about journeying into the dream dimension. She was self-taught practitioner of lucid dreaming until in 1983, she moved to the Federation of Spiritual Communities known as Damanhur, located in northern Italy. Over the next 30 years, she has had the extraordinary, intense, and magical experience of continuing her dream research under the expert guidance and care of Falco Tarassaco, founder of and spiritual guide of Damanhur. Formica, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here. Nice to be with you, Jennifer. Thank you for inviting me here.
I'm very excited. I've had the blessing to have a couple of courses with Formica, and I'm excited to share some of the things that some of the experiences that she shares. But I'd like to start back when you were a little girl. You talk about an experience you had that actually started awakening this lucidity. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Yes. This is, I think, the real important, how do you say, the dream that made me make a shift, in consciousness. And I was around 8 years old, and I started dreaming about a tiger that I was meeting every night. And I remember this beautiful place, very green, and suddenly this tiger was coming out from the green, the plant. And then I was aware this tiger would have killed me and eaten me. And at the beginning of these dreams, I was so scared when I was a little child, and I was screaming every night. I was saying, no, I don't want to dream anymore. I don't want to sleep anymore. And then suddenly I start being conscious that this was a dream and that I should have been patient. And I should have accepted what was going on and waiting, because the dying would not have been so terrible, because I would have felt alive again into the tiger's body, and so I started training myself to this kind of lucidity, because only becoming lucid I could have not been so scared. So after, and this dream was going 1 year long.
Every night.
Every night. And then later I discovered it was a reawakening of a memory, because this is my past life, one of my past lives. And so that has been confirmed in our, in Damanhur we have a deep research in past lives, and you, of course, you have a awakening of memories, but also there is a confirmation. So it was confirmed by people that they were not knowing anything about this memory of, it was so precise that I was really like, oh my god. So actually, and in fact, in our school, Falco always said that to remember the moment of in which you passed away, it's a moment, a very important moment for the reawakening of lucidity. You know, it's
Clearly.
also in the Tibetan tradition. This is quite.
So
So
when
from
you having this experience then of dying or almost dying with the tiger
yeah.
was powerful enough because it was a memory that it woke you up.
Yeah, and because when you passed away, when we passed away, it seems to enter into a dream state.
Mm,
It's really close to a dream state. In fact, in the Tibetan tradition, the Tibetans they have 6 yoga of Naropa. One yoga of Naropa is dedicated to the reawakening, the lucid dreaming, because they think that becoming lucid in the dreams, it will help them in the, in the moment of how do you say in English, the
mhm.
transition in between, and to try to live the moment of the transition between life and death in a very aware state. It enhance your, the level of spirituality, your power in your spiritual evolution. So that is in the Tibetan lineage.
So going back as a little girl, screaming at night, not wanting to go to sleep, did you find that you had any support or any? How did you know that this was what you did? How was it natural? Did you just figure this out, or did you?
Uh, it was well, my the problem when you have kids that are so scared, always parents, they say, don't be worried, don't be worried, it's only a dream, it's just a dream. And this is the worst thing that you can say to a child. So my advice is, if you're a parent, you have kids, don't say this. You have to empower kids, but of course, empower kids to be aware that they can not be damaged, that nothing can damage them into the dream state, that they can reawaken their lucidity. For them, it's so easy, like it was for me. It was a bit difficult because it was so scary in the dream, and it was dealing with my death. So that was a big challenge.
Mm.
But actually, our kids are so powerful that they don't have any problem to manage the dream state. But they have to be empowered by parents, by someone that they trust, because they don't know. So they trust us as adults. So it's so important what we say to them, what we tell them. And then, of course, my parents, they were not having any idea. So they were saying, no, it's only a dream, don't be worried. And I say, no, it's not a dream at all. I was sure it was not a dream at all. And so it was a process. It was a process. It took me time, but it was very important to me to find the understanding at a certain point. I know, as I said, kids are very power in dreaming. They have a huge energy. They have a huge determination. So somehow I was determined to go out from the situation, and I did in this way. That was the best way, because it left me the mastery of lucidity.
Mm.
That's
You touched on it here about the Tibetans, but you talked about other cultures and how to them dreams are a reality. I'm going to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. In many native indigenous cultures, there is the awareness that it, if you understand what is dreaming, you understand what it means living. So
Mhm.
it's through the full understanding of the dream field, the dream realm, that we can understand what is going on here in what we call and define reality. That is actually not real, not so much real, not more real than the dream world. So they they are like in the Libra, they're the two parts. So they have to be balanced. We cannot think that this is real and this is not. It's not balanced. So in many different lineages and traditions, there is this awareness. And this is why when the people that are still so lucky to live in a tribe, in a continuum of the knowledge, in the heritage of the ancient, ancestors, in this, they can really be trained to live the dream as a real life together with the people of their tribe. So there are no fragmentation. There is a sense of unity between living and dreaming. There are tribes that are dreaming together. As they are living together, they dream together. And actually, this is something that we have lost as a consciousness. That dreaming is a collective field. It's not, dreaming is never something that is individual. We're always together with others, with other people that if we grow in consciousness, we can dream with the people that we live in, because we share the same consciousness, so we can keep the threads to connect even in the dream field. But anyway, even when we dream, we are never alone. We are always in a field with so many entities, energies, intelligences. So it's a collective field,
Wow.
like this life.
Wow. That's wonderful to dream in a collective. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You think about half our life when we're asleep, when we're missing, half the reality. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So you studied yourself. I imagine you read books and learned. Is there anything in particular that sticks out for reading?
Well, when I was a kid, and then after this reawakening, I started having lucid dreaming. And of course, as all the kids, and then also when I was an adolescent, I was, enjoying, just enjoying flying, jumping, like a superhero. Because, this is exactly what happened when you're lucid. You can make many experiences, as many as you want. Exactly. So, but then I started reading, and not really, I was not interested in lucid dreaming, because to me was very normal. I was having a kind of a mastery. So I said, okay, I know how to do, and it's simple. But then I arrived at the age of 20, and I met Carlos Castaneda. And Carlos Castaneda has written so many books, of course, about the Toltec lineage of this amazing experience he had, and which is really connected with the dream world. And I read also the books that has been written by the women that are part of the Castaneda's lineage, that Taisha Bellard, Florinda Donner. And it was so amazing, because it was really, I felt completely in tune with this world, And so at the age of 21, I decided that I would have quit my job. I would have sold my motorcycle, and with the money, I would have taken one ticket, only one way, to Mexico to find these people, because I was completely convinced, at that time there was no internet, because I'm speaking about 1983, okay? So no internet. So even for buying a ticket, you should have gone in person in the airport, no way to buy it in a different way. So, and all my friends, they say, you are crazy, don't do that. Or what can happen, to you in Mexico alone? I say, no way. I will find them. Don't be worried. And so suddenly, that 1 week, 10 days before, my intention was to book the flight. I find a TV program that was speaking about Damanhur. No, they presented Damanhur for the first time in Italy through the national TV. And so I discovered these amazing people that they were living in northern, Italy, and they were so crazy, so enthusiastic, so convinced they could have lived, according with their shared dream. They were really speaking about dreaming. And they say they're not impossible dreams. We can live our dream. And this was resonating. I said, oh my God, before I leave to Mexico, I have to meet these people. How can I lose this occasion? I will never come back probably in Italy. So let's go and have a look before leaving forever Italy. That was the perspective. And then I came in this place where I'm still living after 39 years.
Wow.
And I was so fascinated by these people because, I really felt them different, with the real energy, the real determination, and so much enthusiasm, and they were creating their own dream. And I said, okay, let's wait a little bit before leaving for Mexico. And I never left anymore. And then I had the lucky to meet the spiritual guide of Damanhur, Falco Tarassaco. And as soon as soon as I arrived, I started having very intense dreams, and I started dreaming about them, and I started dreaming about their life. And so suddenly I was dreaming of all of them. They were doing things, and
The
I was
Damanhurians.
the Damanhurians.
Yeah.
And I was writing down my dreams as always. And I was telling to them and saying, oh, this is curious. I dreamt about you. You were doing this, you were doing that. And they were like, what? They were like a little bit, because I was really dreaming about their life. At that time, the temples were hidden. They were secret. And I dreamt about... Huh?
I think you need to say a little bit about what Damanhur is.
Okay, yes. Let's say what Damanhur is. Damanhur is a federation of spiritual communities. So in 1983, it was a little community, at least they were 60 people. That was not so little, but compared to today, it was a little. And these 60 people, they were living already together. It was already something like around 7 years they were together. And they were inspired with the idea to create, to live spirituality 24 hours a day, not just to dedicate some moments to spirituality, but to be really coherent with this idea, to create a new society based on solidarity, on the reawakening of the divine spark that we, all human beings, we have inside, we keep within us. So the idea was to enhance the potential, to reawaken the potential within human beings. That means creativity, through the solidarity, through the idea of being a real tribe, a real people, like brothers and sisters together. And so these people were having a secret. The secret was that they were excavating a temples underground, but at that time nobody was knowing that. Even I was not knowing that. Everybody that was arriving there to visit them, they were not aware of this. And the temples of humankind, and now they are open, everybody can visit. Actually, they are an underground cathedral, big and full of art, and deep energies, deep connection with all the energies that flows around the world, So it's a place that it's a temple that deserves to be known, and that, and so at that time, that place was secret. The story why it was secret before and then why it is open now, it's also a very big long story. If you want, we can speak about, I don't know. Let's say.
No, I want to go back to this crazy 20-year-old girl that goes there and starts exposing the secret.
Yeah, exactly. So I started dreaming about them, excavating the temples, about them, the travel, the research they were doing. And to me, it was weird because I say, okay, and I was telling them these dreams like And then they said, okay, you tell the Falco, And Falco, when I started telling these dreams, he understood I was a dreamer, a talented dreamer, already quite awakened. And he decided to teach me. And so I before that, having looking for any kind of research, other researchers in dreaming, and so I have been trained by him. That it has been for me like what Don Juan has been for Castaneda. That is the level, and he trained me to not only to refine my lucidity, but also to really understand how to use lucidity for which purposes, how to investigate the vastity of the different territories of the dream world, how to be aware on how to come back to certain places in the dream world, and how to help the other ones to reawaken their lucidity. And he told me always, you have to attach your dreams to the others, like it's like a virus, a positive virus. You can really kind of give them the key, just communicating, because he said dreams can be attached to the others. It's like when you attach a post-it. You decided, if I decided I want to give you this ability, and you decided that you are really interested, we can match. And this means the teaching. The teaching is all, of course, it's an important part is the concept, it's the explanation, it's all the techniques, but the big part is the energetic, match that we do. It's this is why, and then I understood then later, this is why in all the esoteric lineages, even in the native indigenous cultures, they always say that the knowledge has to be passed by words. It's an oral transmission. And I always, when I was thinking about this when I was young, I said, this is crazy. Why they don't write down that so it will be maintained? Actually, it cannot be write down, because yes, we can write down, and there can be energy in a book, but it has to be deposited by the person that has written the book intentionally. But the best way to transmit the energy and transmit the knowledge is always, meeting people by the oral transmission, meeting the eyes of the people. This is why when I teach dreaming, I need to look at the people into their eyes, because this is the way in which you can not only pass a knowledge, but you pass the key, you pass the energy. You have really to, like the vibrate. Now it's easy. We know by quantum physics, we need to pass the vibration, pass it's the entanglement that has to be happened. That has to happen.
Wow. So, at some point you started saying it was these wow experiences. You were flying when you were young and doing all this. At some point you began to realize there was a practical reason to dream. And you've talked about it helps us when we transition, but I mean, you've done how many years of research now in dreaming?
I think dreaming has been my research the whole life. With Falco, well, even now, even Falco is passed away, well, no, Jennifer, but people, they don't know, our spiritual guide passed away in 2013, so now it's 9 years ago. But definitely I would say his teaching is still going on. So it's 39 years now here in Damanhur that I'm fully trained by this experience. Because Falco, when he passed away, as many of the spiritual teachers and the avatar that has lived in this planet, he left still many tools. He left many contents to be discovered, and so the teaching is still going on, even in dreaming, and especially in dreaming, because now,
yeah, it's wonderful. So we have to go to a short break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about the territories and the different types of dreams and the practical nature of your
Sure.
research.
Yes.
So let's go to break, and we'll be right
Yeah.
back. Stay with us.
Real Conscious Connection. Om Times Radio. IOM FM. Om Times Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Om Times, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of Om Times Magazine's flagship radio show, What is Going On? My passion is sifting through information, research, and innovations from new thought teachers, speakers, and researchers pushing back the boundaries of what we know about life, energy, metaphysics, and the universe. I love shifting perceptions about who we are, why we're here, and how quickly impossible becomes normal when we open our minds, expand our awareness, and accept that the only limits that exist are those we place upon ourselves. So if you're the kind of forward-thinking, eager investigator of what lies beyond the current reality that most perceive, why not make a date to come play with me in the field of possibilities at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday, and together we can discover what's really going on.
There is no greater mystery in life than you. So why not take a fully experiential plunge into the depths of your being to uncover and retrieve all the secrets and wisdom your soul is crying out for you to know? If you enjoy Adventures in Consciousness, the conversation, you'll love Adventures in Consciousness, the course. Join Jennifer in this unique 13-week series of journeys specifically designed to unlock the mysteries of yourself. Each week, you'll journey progressively deeper into the meta realm, where, freed from the limitations of your mind, you'll get to play and explore the inner and outer reaches of your awareness. The next series of Adventures in Consciousness, the course, is starting soon. Find out more and stake your place at jenniferivanco.com.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Adventures in Consciousness, the conversation. My guest today is Formica Coriandolo, and we are speaking about dreams and dimensions. Before we left, we started to talk a little bit about the collective dreaming you mentioned and territories of dreaming. But I want to circle back one more time to, I think it's important to talk about nightmares and how that played in your awakening, but also how we face nightmares.
Nightmares are an opportunity, a unique opportunity in our dreaming. So definitely we need to use them. And it matches a little bit with what you tell me. Your previous host was speaking about, the real blessing that are something. It's not easy to be, there are challenges, the blessing. And that's the same with nightmares. Nightmares are always an occasion. They're always the opportunity for us to understand something and to learn from nightmares. They bring us the right input. Like the nightmare I told you, it could have been only a nightmare. The tiger kill me and eat me. It's terrible. But at the meantime, it has been the more powerful opportunity to me to awaken this power, which is not my power, it's our power. Because lucidity, it's something that it's every human being can become lucid. Every human being has the possibility to reawaken the mastery in the dream time, because we are dreamers, all of us. even the people that they don't remember their dreams. Actually, this, I think, it's the best way to describe a human being. A human being is a dreamer, always, and so nightmares, they are a big opportunity. Also for children, for kids, as I said before, but also for adults. And there are many different kinds of nightmares. So in our school, because in Damanhur now, I have, together with other dreamers, we have developed a school for awakened dreamers. And in this school, we really teach how to distinguish nightmares and how to use the potential that they contain. I would say now, when we start in the introductory course, we always approach nightmares as categories of nightmares. So there are 5 main categories of nightmares, but each of them, they're very important. Let's say, for example, one of the nightmares that we use to reawaken lucidities are the kind of nightmares that are not only scaring us, but also they annoy us. And they are repeated and repeated and repeated. Repetition, it's something that helps us. When a nightmare is repeated and repeated and repeated, it's always precious. So I always say to people that they come to me, oh, I have this problem, I have this nightmare. When I understand that kind of the nightmare that they have, because of course there are many different reasons why you can have a nightmare, but when they have the kind of nightmares that is exactly the one that you need, so I say, okay, that's perfect, use it. And actually we have very good results, which is really, really beautiful, because there's nothing more beautiful than see people that they feel excited and they say, yeah, I can do it. It's unbelievable. It's believable.
It's interesting. Again, this idea of the dream reality is real as the waking reality, and our world right now being so full of chaos and conflict. But those are the things that really can awaken us. And then to reflect on the dreams, the nightmares, the same energy. It's through that, sometimes that shadow or that hardness, that we have that.
Yeah, of course, there is and this life that we are doing, of course, is causing us a lot of stress and uncertainty, and this can also, everything that we live in our life is reflected in our dream state. So the part of our dreams that are the field which is really important, that reflect the situation, the emotions, the energies that we collect, in the daily life. It's a field, and it's the one that is related to our subconscious, of course. Mm-hmm. But in order to have a very safe and a very healthy life in dreaming, we need to contain this part. So, because, many people, when they are not able to find a balance in their daily life, they use the whole energy of the dream state to fix what is happening in their life. Is the concept.
Explain that a little bit. So they're using energy from night?
Yeah, it's the concept of Freud. Do you remember Freud theories? He always said, okay, dreaming is all related to your subconscious. Okay. So it's always a projection of your daily life, of your inner conflicts, of your inner desire, and so on. That's really is not like that, because we have to do much more when we dream. We are flyers. We cannot stay in a cage, which is always our house, or our field. We are travelers. Being a dreamer means being beings that are able to travel in between dimensions, to touch different intelligences, territories, a huge it's very well known what we call the akasha, this field of knowledge, of energy, which contains the archetypical, values and so on. But this is just a description. There are much, much more, that we have to discover. So why we have to waste all the dreaming time to fix things that are related to our daily life?
In your
We
house.
yeah, we have to, what we do in our dream school is we give to all the tools for the people, and they're very specific tools to recuperate the energy that we waste many times. Then our subconscious become heavy, 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 and then when we dream, it has to process all this stuff. So if you want to be a dreamer, the first thing we have to learn is to do not create waste. It's like when we now need to recycle. You live a day in your life, and you know that you have to decide. You produce waste. It's something that you put in a bucket, and then you throw away. That's not possible in dreaming, because that bucket you take away in your dream. Okay, and you have to open it, and you have to recycle in dreaming. So we need to start learning how to recycle while we are living. So and recycling means that if we live emotions that are heavy emotions, if we live conflicts, if we are disappointed, if we are annoyed, if we lose energy, even if we are sorry, every time that you lose energy in your daily life, you have to clean that moment, because if you don't do that in your daily life, you will do in the night. And so we have really to, because what is dreaming is using energy. So if we lose energy, for example, being completely devastated by something which has happened, we need to fix things. We need to not become devastated. We need to process things in a conscious way, and to find always the better, and this means to recuperate energy. And then if you don't lose energy, but you recuperate the energy and you can process everything, you have the energy that you can use while you are dreaming. And then you do to dream, and you can become lucid, and you can travel in between dimensions, because you have let's say, the fuel. No, that's the fuel of dreaming. So in our dream school, we work as in many other lineages, especially the Toltec lineage. In the Toltec lineage, Don Juan was teaching to Castaneda that he had to process his life, the past. There is a technique which is called I don't know in English.
Yeah.
But anyway, the concept is the processing the life, the past, to recuperate energy from the events, from the memories, in order to do not live with the idea that you have had the trauma, with the idea, the memory of something that is still causing you some effects. Okay, so we need to work to fix, to change the idea that we have of ourselves, of who we are. And we need to transform our personal story. They're very powerful tools. That means that we need to understand that we can become who we want, that we are not what is happened to us. We are much more. And we can become who we want to be. And we can really, like a sculpturist, as an artist, we can make a new shape of our life. That is really important in order to dream. And this is not something which is a modern technique. This is something which is very, very ancient. This is something that all the very ancient lineages that have worked with dreaming, they always have done through different techniques, but the same concept. And this is also what we do also in Damanhur.
Yeah. Wonderful to give a practical science of dreaming, of how to, and because the minute you talk about teaching dreaming or about dreams, you'll hear, I don't dream, I don't remember my dreams. That's so common.
You don't remember your dreams because you still have to practice. Well, everybody can remember their dreams. There must be constancy and discipline. This is important.
And then there's the dreaming or the journey when you're awake.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And is that the same reality?
Absolutely. Dreaming is not something that happens to us when we are sleeping. Mm? Also, when we dream with the open eyes, actually we are traveling. But let's say this: dreaming is a powerful journey, and it employs how do you say, not employs, but it requests to us to be involved with all our bodies. Okay, the physical body has its own function while we are dreaming. The subtle bodies, there are many layers of subtle bodies. In our school we count almost 30 layers of subtle bodies. Okay, so with these layers of subtle bodies you can make different dreams, and this means that you can start from the astral travel, which is the first movement of the first astral bodies or energetic bodies, until the long ones, because it's like something flexible that can take a long distance. So when we dream with the open eyes, when we dream in the daily life, what some people they call this lucid dreaming, is a way of dreaming that doesn't mean that you're using all the bodies of the dream bodies. Okay, but you are dreaming. Of course you're dreaming, and this is important to be done. Also some people are very skilled in this. At the meantime, dreaming is like living. You cannot A child need to learn how to live fully. He cannot remain a child for the whole life, right? He needs to start walking and then speaking and then using properly all the hands, and then until he becomes skilled and he can become who this person wants to be, a dancer, singer, or an engineer, or who knows what. That's the same with dreaming. So when people they say, "Oh, well, I'm so satisfied because I have lucid dream while I'm aware," in the daily life, and that's good. But it's like, again, there's so much more that you can do. We have really to learn how much to use this amazing power we contain. Because we are really powerful beings. So
when you talk about being able to use this energy or use this power of dreams practically, because that's what you learned when you came to Damanhur, can you give us some kind of example of some way, like how is it powerful for you?
So when I arrived in Damanhur, I was used to enjoy my lucidity, doing whatever I was in love. And then Falco started passing me a sense of responsibility, because he said, "Okay, that's nice. Okay, that's easy for you. But, what's going on there? Do you know what is going on there beyond the fact that you enjoy?" And so Falco has always taught me asking me questions. This is the best way to train someone, asking questions, because when we ask questions to ourselves, not only our mind, but the whole process, it goes very, very inside, and then it moves things. So, and he started giving me different exercises to become aware of what is the dream field, because the first thing that we train people to learn is, where are you? Where are you when you are dreaming? In which territories are you? It's what is made of. And when I say what is made of, I mean that territories in dreaming in the dream world, they have different density. They can be related to your energy, they can be produced by you, or they can be produced by others. It's like when we live in a real life. You have your house, right? That's your energetic field. So when you wake up in the morning and you decided, oh, I want to change the wardrobe from right to left, you can do that, right? But if you go outside of your home and you go on the street and you say, oh, I don't want that car here, I want to move that car there, you cannot do that because the car is owned by someone else. That is a public space. And even worse, if you go into a shop, you cannot start moving the furnitures from a place to another one because that is a territory where someone has, created a space. But when you become lucid in dreaming, in which territories are you? And if you want to change, if you want to do something, where are you going to do something? It's your home, it's a public space, or is the territory that someone else has created? Because it's not different. It's not different at all. And how can you realize where you are? There is a technique which is the more powerful. It's simple and powerful. You have to change dream. When you wake up, and this was the first exercise that still now I learn from this, So be aware, even if 39 years that I started this exercise, I still learning doing this exercise. And when you become lucid, and by the way, everybody who are, listening to this program now, they can become lucid tonight. And I have no doubt, because the only moment, just the fact that you're putting, you're interested, you're listening, and you're inspired, and you're curious, it creates something, it reawakens, this power we have. So many times, many people, they told me, oh my God, I listen to your webinar and I become lucid. And I say, this is okay. This is how it's meant to be, So when people, they become lucid, they have to do this. They have to, so first of all, lucidity creates a lot of emotions in people. They get excited. And this excitement, many times they wake up in their bed and they say, no, because they would like to stay, So first of all, we have to be, okay, okay, now first thing I have to do, I don't have to get excited like a crazy, but I have to change dream. And people, they have to put in front of them their hands like this, and they have to do this gesture. They have to turn completely, and they have to say, I want to change everything, Why this is a very important gesture? Because while we are dreaming, we are dealing with our energetic bodies, and we are dealing with the energies that is all around us. Because in dreaming, there are no cars, there are no chairs, there are no walls, no way. There's only energy, okay? But we give always a shape to this energy. So we translate everything with because we are so conditioned by this daily life, right? Be aware, native indigenous people, they don't need to, they are not conditioned so much as we are, because they live in a world of energy. They train themselves to perceive energies, to see energy. So when they dream, they don't need to clean from the shapes, okay? And but what happens when you do this? You decided that you change the dream, and you have to see what happens. If you can change the dream, if you can change everything, it's because you are in your house. You are in your home field. You are awakened, but you are in your energetic field, safe. Then you can change everything. Huh? Yeah. But if you don't, and many people, they arrive to me and they say, oh, I did it, but I couldn't change anything. That's why, because they were in a different energetic territory that was set up by someone else. In that case, it becomes very difficult for you to change. You have to move differently. And then from these first exercises, you start learning how to move in the different territories to maintain the lucidity, because it's very important to maintain lucidity as long as possible, you know, and so on. And there's so many more exercises, but this is just for you to give the first, you know.
That's wonderful. It excites me to think about exploring different territories. I mean, how much is out there?
Do you remember Inception?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, when they have created Inceptions, they have studied a lot because, of course, the director is a very interesting person that is make a lot of research. I learned, and they have really captured something very, very precious that is completely true that happens in the dream world, and something is completely just fictions, you know, just to make a movie.
So Inception is a movie about dreams.
Yes, Inception is a movie about dreaming, and there's something that are very precisely, exactly like that. Other things are just to make fun, you know. But it's interesting, you know. I always recommend people to look at it and don't think it's so far from reality, you know.
Yeah. So. There's a lot of those fantasy movies like Avatar, and a lot of them have kernels of truth coming out of our subconscious, right? Yeah. So you worked with Falco. Do you want to tell a little story about an experience with Falco when he was teaching you?
Oh,
I know.
What a huge container of great teachings. It's a difficult choice to find one situation.
What kind of teacher was he?
Oh, what?
What kind of teacher was he? What was he like working with him?
Well, Falco was an amazing teacher because he always find a different way for all of us. And in this there is the wisdom and the amazing energy, the amazing, extraordinary capacity, because it was not giving everything to everybody. It was giving the right thing to make the people make the shift. So it was completely different the way in which he was teaching to me. For example, because I'm quite a passionate and determined person, he never. So he was quite determined when he was teaching me, So when I was, for example, when he was giving me a task, I should have accomplished that task. I couldn't come to him saying, "Oh, I cannot. Can you help me?" Complaining, He was always like, "No way. You had to do that," And that was the way, because I'm quite, I love challenges, So he always challenged me and never gave me a new information if I was not able to achieve that and to make that step. And actually, I have to really I'm grateful, because that's the perfect way to push me, to really reawaken my power. With other people, he was so sweet, so patient, so, and I was also some kind of envy, but that was the perfect way for them, because they were needing self-confidence, and he was giving them until they were really having all the ingredients to go through. So he has been an amazing teacher,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So we have a couple minutes left, but I want you to share for a moment about your school. This is a new school of dreaming at Damanhur.
Yes, it's a school of dreaming for everybody, even people that they have never been in Damanhur. There are no problems at all. It's online, and it's also in presence, because COVID has unfortunately created a lot of difficulties in meeting in person. But it also has been interesting because we have developed a very, very nice, beautiful, and very powerful path, even being online through Zooms meetings. So we have a school which is 3 years long. And in June, by the way, we have also the first intensive school of the first year in person in Damanhur. It will start in the 13th of June until the 23rd of June. So everybody who wants to come, come. We have a website. I don't know if you can make it.
Yeah, go ahead and say it's www. I don't have it in front of me here. Formica, what's the?
Yes, I'm sending you. It's, or I tell, maybe it's better, is is www.dream.talei with the J .net/eng n for the English people.
Very good. I'll have it on my website for people if you're looking for it. We also have the introductory course for Dream. That's a weekend coming up also in June on the 11th and 12th. And thank you so much, Formica.
It's been such a pleasure, Jennifer. Thank you so much, and all the best for your dreams.
Thank you.